All right, let's jump right in. Today we're going to explore a really fascinating idea that might just flip your understanding of two of the most important words in the Quran, Muslim and Mu'min. What if they're not just labels for what you believe, but are actually descriptions of what you do and how you affect the people around you? So, let's get right to the heart of it with this central question. When we see the word iman in the Quran, does it just mean having faith? An internal conviction or belief? Or is it pointing to something way more concrete? Something you can actually see and feel in the real world?
To figure that out, we have to look at a technique the Quran uses all the time. It defines things by showing you their exact opposite. And the starting point for this comparison isn't believer versus non-believer. No, it's actually the person who grants security versus the person who creates fear.
Now check out this verse from Surah Taha. The context here is everything. It comes right after a description of the fate of a mujrim, which means a criminal. So it's setting up this powerful contrast. On one side, you have the criminal. And on the other, you have the mu'min who, and here's the crucial part, has done righteous deeds. The emphasis is squarely on the action.
So who is this mujrim? It's the criminal. And what's so important here is that this is a label defined entirely by destructive actions, not by some internal belief system. It's about the harm they cause.
I mean, look at the actions of a mujrim. They spread corruption, they shed blood, they steal, they terrorize people. These are all tangible things. Their identity is 100% defined by what they do to others. This is our baseline, an identity based purely on action.
Okay, so we've established the negative pole. Now, let's look at the positive side. But instead of just lumping it all into one category, this analysis presents it like a ladder of positive social behavior. Let's start on the first rung.
That first step up is Islam. It comes from the root word for peace, asilm. So in this way of thinking, being a Muslim isn't just a title. It's about being a person who actively grants peace to others. You are a source of non-aggression. People know you aren't a threat to them.
But then you can climb even higher to iman. This concept is rooted in the word for security, al-aman. And this is a huge leap. It's not just the absence of hostility, it's the active presence of safety. To be a mu'min means that people around you feel so totally secure with you that their fear is just gone. They trust you completely.
And this is where the difference becomes crystal clear, right? Granting peace means there's an absence of hostility. People aren't worried you're going to cause trouble. But granting security, that's the presence of total trust. People feel so safe, it's not even a question in their minds. One is neutral, the other is profoundly positive.
Okay, now this is where things get really interesting. The Quran itself gives us this subtle little puzzle in its language that, once you solve it, makes this whole idea of an action-based hierarchy just click. Take a close look at this verse. The question being asked is, should we treat the Muslims like the mujrims, like the criminals? Now, obviously it's a rhetorical question. The answer is, of course not. But the real puzzle is in the specific words being used here.
Think about it. Why compare the Muslim, the one who grants peace, to the criminal? If the Mu'min, the one who grants total security, is the highest level, the gold standard, wouldn't you compare that to the criminal? This specific choice of words is totally deliberate, and it's holding the key to the whole thing.
An incredibly elegant solution to this puzzle comes from the analysis of Dr. Khaled Al-Said Hassan. He uses this simple, powerful analogy about precious metals that just makes everything make perfect sense.
Okay, so here's how the analogy works. Think of the criminal, the mujrim, as iron. It's the base value. The Muslim who grants peace is like silver, and the mu'min who grants security is like gold. So when the Quran asks, should we treat the Muslims like the criminals, it's really asking, is silver equal to iron? And by proving that even the lower positive rank, silver, is obviously way more valuable than iron, it automatically proves that the highest rank, gold, is even further in value. It's an absolutely brilliant rhetorical device.
So, after all that, what's the big takeaway? Well, it's a pretty radical shift in how we think about identity. It's not about what you call yourself. It's not about what's going on in your head. It's about how you function in society. Your actions literally define who you are.
This table just lays it all out so clearly. The mujrim creates harm and is a source of fear. The Muslim grants peace and is a source of non-aggression. And at the very top, the mu'min grants security, becoming a source of complete and total trust for everyone around them. Each identity is tied directly to a real, social action.
So the big idea, the main point we need to walk away with is this. These Quranic terms aren't static labels. They are functional descriptions. They answer the question, what is your actual effect on other people? Are you a source of fear, a source of peace, or a source of deep, profound security? How you act is who you are.
And really, that leaves all of us with a pretty powerful question to reflect on. In our daily lives, with our families or coworkers, with strangers, are we just content with not causing any trouble, granting peace? Or are we striving to be the kind of person whose very presence makes others feel completely and totally safe? To be a person who grants true security? It's a thought that really shifts the focus from what we call ourselves to the living, breathing impact we have on the world.